visiting with us, and we're going to watch a quick video, and then Tom and Aruk are going to come up and tell us a little bit about the Ministry of Seeds of South Sudan.
12 years ago, 60 Minutes aired a story about lost boys from Sudan who fought off unspeakable dangers and then flew off to the United States. It all began in the 1980s during Sudan's civil war, in which more than 2 million people died. The boys' parents were killed, their sisters often sold into slavery. Many of the boys died too, but the survivors, thousands of them, started walking across East Africa alone. 5 years later, they walked into a refugee camp in Kenya. That's where we first met them, when many were hoping to go to the United States. Well, 3,000 did, as part of the largest resettlement of its kind in American history. We followed the boys for more than a decade and couldn't resist revisiting them, see how they're doing. But first, we'll take you back to northern Kenya, to the Kakuma refugee camp, springtime 2001.
The story will continue in a moment.
Nothing drew a crowd like the list. Once a week, the lost boys saw their destiny on a bulletin board, the staples of life. On this day, 90 learned they'd be going to America.
Boston.
I'm going to Florida. Florida.
Every Sunday, a plane arrives at the camp to take the boys from nowhere to somewhere. From Kakuma to JFK and beyond. Not all of the lost boys got to go. Joseph Taban Rufino had walked to the board so many times he tried not to get excited. What's new?
Something new.
What?
Yeah, I've seen my name on the board.
Your name's on the board, huh?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
This is Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
Do you know where it is?
I don't know.
Abraham Yelniel was taking this walk for the 25th time. He was an ordained minister of Sudan's Episcopal Church at Kakuma. He looked at the board as if it were a holy scroll.
I'm going to Chicago. Is it interesting?
Oh, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
They were called the Lost Boys because they were between 5 and 11 when their Christian villages in southern Sudan were attacked by Islamist forces from the north. When they saw their villages burning, they started running. Streams of boys became rivers. Hundreds became thousands until an exodus of biblical proportions was underway. They walked for 3 months across Sudan barefoot. 12,000 found refuge in Ethiopia. But after 4 years, they were chased out at gunpoint, chased to the Gilo River, where the waters did not part. For Joseph Taban, that day will never go away.
We saw so many people who were just floating on the river.
Dead bodies.
Dead bodies, yeah. Who were floating on the river.
Many were shot, many drowned. Many were eaten by crocodiles. Zachariah Magak was there.
1,000 to 2,000 were died in that river.
1,000 or 2,000 died in that river?
Yes.
It wasn't much better on the other side. They walked across deserts, over mountains. They had no food or water. Paul Dang was 7 when he started the walk.
You have to urinate so that you drink your own urine.
Did you ever do it yourself?
Yeah, I didn't want to die. Other people didn't want to die.
In the spring of 1992, after walking more than 1,000 miles, the boys made it over the border into Kenya to a desolate place called Kakuma. For the UN, it was an emergency of vast proportions, these emaciated children. For the boys, it was the safest they'd been in 5 years. Joseph became a medical assistant at the camp clinic. Abraham found a job preaching the gospel in a church built of mud. The Lost Boys couldn't go home to Sudan, and Kenya didn't want them. Then, in the year 2000, the State Department decided they deserved a break and invited them to come live in the United States.
What we want to do is give you a correct understanding of what life will be like in America.
Before they took off for their new lives in the new world, Sasha Chanoff, a teacher from Boston, gave them a crash course, America 101.
Does anybody know who the President of the U.S. is now?
George Bush W.
Things they could not imagine, like winter.
This is a little what winter in America feels like. What does it feel like?
It's very cold.
Will you die because of that coolness?
No, people do not die because of the coolness.
He had 3 days to prepare them for a leap of 1,000 years.
Many of them have never been exposed to lights or to a fork and a knife or seen a TV. It's a group that's lost in time.
They had 4 days to pack their luggage. They took little, left less behind. Abraham was taking a book he'd been carrying for 10 years.
You still have the Bible that you carried from Ethiopia here?
Yes, it's my life. I've been called a lost boy, but I'm not lost from God. I lost from my parents.
As in any farewell, the lost boys were saying, "See you soon." But they knew better. Kakuma was losing its doctor and its priest.
Take it together and put it in.
The boys had never been on a plane before. They'd never even been on a bus.
Good.
Good morning, church. My name is Tom Pond. I'm a longtime member of this church and past treasurer of the church. I'm very involved in the Seeds of South Sudan. Last week, Pastor Robert talked about ordinary people with extraordinary commitment, and I want to introduce one of those people, my friend Arak Garange. He's a survivor of the Lost Boys. He was educated at CU, and he's the founder of our Seeds of South Sudan organization. His commitment, he feels he was called by God to help his people. And the way he did that, or way he's doing that, is by educating them and hopefully making them the next generation of leaders in South Sudan. And so, next slide. What we try to do, we're educating these students from Kakuma, take them out of the camp and bring them into Kenya, or bring them down to Nakuru and educate them. But mostly we're bringing hope. These kids have lost hope. 3 years ago, my wife and I traveled to Kenya and met with many of the students and spent time with them in Nakuru, and it's just amazing. South Sudan is landlocked. They have oil. Sudan has the only way to market for their oil. Sudan is Muslim, and South Sudan is Christian. So you got oil, Christian, and Muslim, and you can imagine the tension. They've had 50 years of war, and there's weapons, and it's just anarchy in the country. But Iraq comes to bring hope. He takes kids out of the camp, brings them down to we have an orphanage in Nakuru where the kids stay, and basically we're educating the kids. And next slide. He's one of the, he talks about his trip across Sudan and into Ethiopia and crossing the river, and so many of his friends die. I know I talked to my wife and I sponsor an elementary student and a college student, and I talked to mine, and he told me about how he witnessed the murder of his parents. Iraq didn't witness that because he was out tending the cattle when the rebels attacked his village. But his story is amazing. The story of these kids is amazing. What really touches my heart is you don't see a lot of PTSD. I expected to find a tremendous amount of PTSD, and we brought them hope. Next slide. Basically, Kurkuma is not a nice place. It's adequate. They were on half rations, and then with the recent budget, they're on quarter rations now. So it's starvation diet in Kurkuma. We feed them pretty well at our orphanage, so that's not a problem. Next slide. But our mission is to educate refugee children to be the seeds of change in South Sudan. Next slide. And Iraq is leading that. He is tremendous in his efforts. He comes to this country 3 months a year and helps us with fundraising. And because in the camp they get one shared meal, and that's all they can afford. It's 100 students per class, no books, and it's just miserable conditions. I can't even imagine learning in an environment like that. So they make it through about the 3rd or 4th grade in the camp, and then we bring them down to Kenya. And they attend at Roots Academy, which is an amazing place. It's a boarding school, and the kids come home to the orphanage on their break. So some of our high school students, the best of the best, go on to college. They use the English system where they have a testing between grades. And we ask that they go back and volunteer and teach in the camp in Kurkuma. To date, we've educated 187 orphans. 82 of them are in high school. We have 24 in college and 12 college graduates. I think we have 1 medical, right? One doctor we've graduated from medical. It's just an amazing story of success, but it's even more than that. Go ahead. Next one. Because we bring them hope. That's what we're all about, bringing them hope. It's amazing to see the hope in their eyes. So if you want to become this church sponsors one student. We'll talk about him in a minute. But if you want to become a part of it, we have a table out in front. If you want to sponsor a kid, I always get more out of the things I do than I put into them, and I feel guilty for that. I shouldn't get more. They should get more. Go ahead. These are the kids from Kurkuma that are waiting to be sponsored. So we can't take them out unless we can, pay to educate them and feed them. I love this shot, not because I'm in it, but I'm delivering a computer to one of our college students, Amir, we're actually in Nairobi. Look at the look on his face. Can you see the joy? 8 years ago when he was in Kurkuma, do you think he ever thought he would own a laptop computer? No. And we were able to not only educate him through high school, he's in college now, he's an accounting major, I don't know where he got that. I'd like to think I inspired him, but I don't think I did. But he is an accounting student at the University of Nairobi, and he has his own laptop computer. And look at the hope on that face. As I mentioned, our church sponsors a student. I murder these names, so I'm going to try to read it. His name is Ding Akim Dao. That was pretty close. Not only are the Dinka people very tall, and I feel very insignificant around Iraq. What are you, 6'7"? 6'7". Oh, if I'd been that, I'd be a professional lineman in the NFL. But anyways, he's 15. He's in grade 10. He's doing very well in school, and good prospects to move on to college. But our church sponsors him. We bring him hope. So let me let Iraq speak a little bit, and we will be available out in the lobby for questions. Please stop by and take a look at some of the merchandise and et cetera. Iraq.
Good morning one more again, church. Thank you so much for having us. Tom and Sharon from this church have done amazing work of supporting the work of Seed of South Sudan. I'm also with Eileen, who is one of our volunteers, and Margaret could be somewhere. Well, the Bible says in the book of Proverbs, 107 verse 1, give thanks to God, for he is good, and his love endures forever. So I'm here to say thank you so much for the prayers for the work that Tom does, and we thank God for you. One of our message today was very clear: trusting God. Whether we understand or we don't understand. So I thank you for trusting God, for sharing the little resources that you have with someone who is in a refugee camp. In a refugee camp, you eat 1 meal a day, if you are lucky. But it changed now, and you eat 1 meal the other day. So it's a big trust, so I thank you for the support that you have given us. And it's not easy, supporting someone whom you have not seen. You trust God, that God will do a miracle, will do something big through this individual. So I thank God for you. Mine is just to say thank you for standing up with us, and for praying with us. We honor you and we thank God for you. Like Thomas said, we have our information at the table. You can sponsor a child. It's $150 a month. We also appreciate it if you have time. We need volunteers. We need people who could join our board. If you feel that way, there are so many ways that God could use you. You might not have many, but you have some talent. So please contact Tom and the pastor, and we would appreciate that. Thank you so much for having us. God bless you more.
Yeah, one of the incredible things is when nationals have the opportunity to come to the United States and get educated and work, they very rarely go back. They very rarely care enough about their old situation to do something about it. And so Araka had the education from CU. I don't know if you noticed, he's wearing a Broncos shirt in there because he's a Colorado guy. But he's a Colorado guy committed to Sudan, committed to his homeland. And that's very rare. That's extraordinary commitment to the Lord, extraordinary commitment to the kingdom. And Arak, thank you for your commitment to honor God's calling in your life and help change lives of others that are suffering in the same situation that you got away from, and you choose to step back into that. So thank you for that. Obviously, we also celebrate our offering.